This is the Motorcade Misconception, another featured contract we're going to be doing with no mastery. Fortunately, although this is a very difficult contract, it requires us to fiberwire a guy in the middle of Colorado in our suit without ever changing our disguise. Make sure his body is not found. We don't have to hide it, but we do have to make sure no one finds it. And fortunately, it's totally doable with zero mastery. Fiberwire suit, hey, no problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here because we need to get into this little shed to get the ATV keys. There's also only one exit allowed, and unfortunately it's the ATV. So we're going to quickly come over here and shoot that wall. That will turn that guy around, which is what we need, because otherwise he'll turn and start walking towards us, and that'll allow him to spot us. That would be bad. And we're just going to creep behind these guys as they walk. Remember, on Colorado, your suit is hostile to everybody, so you cannot get seen here. We're going to come over here, because we want to make sure we're far enough away when we shoot that they don't hear us. We're going to do a gun distraction over here, just kind of to the left of that tarp. That will turn one of those two guys around, the one who's actually looking straight at us. The other guy can potentially see you with a head turn, but he didn't in this case, and he usually won't. We're going to come behind these tractors, and that will get us to our friend, the target, who's walking away. He will eventually come back, so if that's an issue where you can't catch him, just wait for him and his friend to come back. Now what I've done is dropped my gun there and thrown a coin to distract him. Make sure he's the one that's actually further behind. He should be, but sometimes he's not. I should have dropped it a little further near the box, since as he's turning he almost saw me, but if you hide back over here you should be okay. Now you have to look around, make sure that there's nobody looking. There are a couple of guys who sometimes turn and look in his direction, so just wait for him to start turning to walk the gun to the box and get him. Now those guys in front of the barn, for whatever reason, they can't see at this distance, so even though it looks like the barn guy is looking right at me, for whatever reason he won't. So we're going to dump him in this box. You shouldn't get spotted here. There's a small chance that someone will see it, but as far as I know it shouldn't happen. Once that's done, what you're going to need to do is get through the demolition range. Now this way that I'm looking at here, I was considering it, but it's not very smart. What's happening now is Sean Rose is at the demolition range. He gets there after about a minute, and a bunch of guys will be walking over here to observe him as he's working on the safe, which means that there will be nobody over here, so we can go straight across this area. Still be crouched, though, because people could potentially see you coming through that window. See, there was a very small, brief, partial spot there. And then come through this window, and then we're going to come over here and hide, because Maya Parvati is almost here, and I'm going to kind of hide against here so that nobody's partially seeing me. I'm also going to speed this up a bit. She'll yell at the guy, and then he'll eventually go back to his work. Wait for him to be kind of either turned around or leaning down, and then come over in here. What we're going to need to do now is shoot the camera that's looking at the ATV, just on the safe side. We don't want to get recorded. There's pretty much no chance that we're going to be able to erase the evidence. Then we have to take a risk here. So throw a coin over here so that the two guys at that gate turn around, and then jump out, circle around that junk, and then immediately exit from the ATV. You have just enough time to not get spotted. You see that flash during the cutscene, and that was where the spot actually happened, but since I had already did the exit animation, it doesn't count as being spotted. So that will get you silent assassin. It's a little risky, but you will get out of there.